let's do the face and get that out of the way first. So take whatever skin color you've used. Oh, good Lord. Cut a piece. We're just going to sew on the nose. We don't really want the nose to be that noticeable. So thread one end and put a knot in the other end. So it doesn't matter where you come in, it just matters where you come out. So you can go in anywhere. Decide where you want your nose and how big you want your nose, and all that jazz is all up to you. So wherever you come in, and then you want to come across, keep it even. And then go in and back out near the same hole or in the same hole, it doesn't really matter, that you just were in. And you're going to repeat this over and over again, layering your nose. You can move down, moving down ever so slightly. And that's how you're going to do your nose. So pull tight so you can make a little bit of a divot. If you pulled snug, it will make a divot here so that the nose sticks out. This could be time consuming. However, it's fabulous. I love doing noses like this for dolls. So even though this isn't an animal, I am going to kind of taper it a little bit in, just because humans' noses do that. It's not just animal noses. So I'm just going to go back and forth a few times. And keep giving that nice snug pull so you get that. It indents on either side of the nose. So it creates a nose ridge. That's how I love to do my noses. You can just go in and pop out somewhere. Tie a knot. You don't have to do these knots, by the way, and don't make the knot tight. But if you are doing the knots, you don't have to make it tight. You just have to make it a knot. But you don't have to make a knot either. You can just cut it off. You can just weave it and cut it off. I just like to do it for added security, but I don't like to make my knots too tight because it makes the knots small and then it might just get pulled right through. So let's do a little lippy mouth deal. If you have, this is what I'm going to use. So if you have it, it's either a 2-weight or a 3-weight cotton. I think this is 2. It's fabulous stuff to work with. If you have some of this to do your lips, then fantastic. But you can do your mouth any way you want. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do these lips. I think that's enough. I don't know. We'll see. So same thing. Thread one end. And then the other end. Sorry, my allergies are acting up if I'm sniffing and snorting. Because this is a 2-weight, I'm going to do a double knot on the end. Alright. So it doesn't matter where you go in, it just matters where you come out. It all depends on how big you want your mouth. So I'm going to come in here. I want my mouth at least wider than my nose. So I'm going to come down through this hole, but I'm going to angle this way. And I'm going to come out the chin. So I'm going to go down here into this hole that I started with. And then I'm going to pop out on the other side. But it's going to make my bottom lip there. And then I'm going to come down into the bottom. And I'm going to pop out into this corner again. Like that. This is going to make my other bottom. Oops. I'm a little tangled. My mouth looks funny because I'm a little tangled. I pulled that over on the other side. There. So, pull tight a little bit. So, we're not leaving our mouth like this unless you want your mouth like that, but it doesn't look all that great right now. But now that we've got the shape, this is the time-consuming part. Sorry, this gets dark when I zoom in, but I try to lighten it for you. I try to stay on camera. So I go in just underneath, for now, just underneath the red. And I'm gonna loop. Again, just under the red for now. When I want to change the shape of my mouth, then I will grab some of the brown, which is coming up soon. So I'm just going under the red for now. I'm trying not to get my fingers in the way for you. So pull in this direction when you pull to keep it all over in the same area, which I didn't do. So coming up in the middle of the lip, I want my lip to be raised a little bit. So I'm going to grab some of the brown at this point so I can raise my lip up. So then when I pull, that's looking pretty crappy. So when I pull, my lip is pulled up into position. And then I can just keep wrapping. I'm wrapping backwards, so it's looking funny. But you get the idea, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to continue wrapping, and I'll meet you back here. Going to wrap all the way around. And I'll meet you back here when you're done. So that's how my lips turned out. Got her boobies all out of place. I had to redo the top. What I was trying to show you, it felt like I was doing it completely backwards. So I had to redo the top. And then the bottom didn't really come out all that great, but I'm not going to redo it. So when you're done, you can just go down and do like we do with everything else. You can just pop out somewhere and tie your knot and poke it down and be done with it. You don't have to do your mouth this way either. It's just a suggestion. Everything on my channel is just a suggestion. You can do whatever you want to do. So if you just did what I did and pulled your face out of shape, you can just plunk it back up. You don't even have to do a big open mouth like I do. You can do a closed mouth. But anyway, that's how I like to do my mouths. A lot better than just, you know, sewing a piece of thread in place. But I also don't mind. I did a fairy doll once where I just put a slit. Just one piece of thread, a tiny little piece of thread across the face, and it worked. So I think it all depends on the doll, or it all depends on my day maybe. I don't know. Anyway, tie your knot and just poke these guys down. Poke them way down. There. We're getting some stuff together here. So let's do some arms, and then we've got a wig cap and hair to do. So we're getting there. So I didn't put any hands on the arms or anything. I just did just your basic, because really she swims with them, right? I don't know. Do they even have hands? I have no idea. But I just did, I'll show you. Oh, if I can reach. These hands. That's the kind of hands I did. So they're pretty simple. The hair takes the absolute longest. So we're going to start with a magic ring, your favorite. You're going to put 8 single crochets into that ring. So you're going to put 2 single crochets in each of the next 4 stitches. So after your first stitch, you're going to put in your marker. Then you're going to put in stitch number 2. 2 in the next one. 2 each in the next one, and 2 each in this one. And then you're just, in the last 4, you're just going to put 1. You should have 12 stitches. Your next round, you're going to do 1 single crochet increase. So there's 1 single crochet. And then your increase is 2 single crochets in the same space. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets. So repeat that all the way around. You should have 18 stitches when you're done. So for the next 2 rounds, you're going to put 1 single crochet in each of those 18 stitches. And I will see you back here after. So this is what you should have. You can turn this right side in. Doesn't really matter what happens to this guy. If it's annoying you, you can just cut it off a little bit. It doesn't need to be that long, but I wouldn't cut it off too short because it'll try to work its way open. So we're going to do a decrease. We're going to do a decrease 9 times, bringing us down to 9 stitches. So that's our first decrease. That gets a stitch marker. And my 9th one, my last one, should be at the stitch marker. That's your round little hand. So for the next 16 rows, you're going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 9 stitches. And I will see you after your, so do your 16 rows. So stuff it as you go. Sew your top shut. I will do all that with you. With your second arm, I will meet you back and do the sewing the top shut and stuff with you. I'm going to put the pattern up for the second arm, so you can go ahead and make the second arm, and then I will meet you back there after all that. We'll sew our arms shut, and I'll sew one on with you. So I got mine done and I got mine stuffed. So we're just gonna sew the top shut. This part doesn't have to be pretty. You just go in under the 4 pieces of yarn for your stitches. And creating a loop. So I'm going to show you one anyway, because it's too hard to sew on camera, especially for my back. So these are meant to come right off the neck, like that. So figure out where you want it. Pin it. I got these wig pins. They hold pretty good. So once you figure out where you want it, you can just pin it in place. So I'm going to go down as close as I can to the arm, go into the doll, and I'm just gonna, I'm using a needle that has one of these ends on it. So I'm going to go in as close as I can to the, these are called invisible stitches. So I know it's going to be hard to see. I'm going to try to zoom in here. So you get, so this is, it's hard to see where it separates, but this is the top of the arm. You're going to go down as close as you can to the arm into the doll, and then you're going to pop up through one of the stitches. So when you pull it, this stitch is going to get sucked in underneath the arm, so you're not going to be able to see your stitches. So that's called invisible stitches. And then you just move along, going down as close as you can to the arm and coming up into the arm. Sorry, it's so hard, and I just got tangled. Tangled around my head. Alright. Once you've come to the end, I just like to go into this guy, right into the edge of the arm, the corner, because he likes to stick up. And I'm going to push it backwards behind the arm. So when I pull, it's going to suck that corner right down against the doll, so it's not going to stick out. So grab the arm and hold it and give it a really nice tug. So you won't be able to see the stitches. They'll just look like crochet stitches. We're not sewing under the arm, because if we sewed under the arm, your arm would stick out like that. We don't want the arm to stick out like that. So we're not sewing under. That's all you need to hold the arm on. It's not going to go anywhere, and you can still manipulate it a little bit. Oh my god, my boobs are just all over the place. So that's arm number 1. That's all I'm doing with you, because like I said, it's very hard to sew on camera. So now you can just weave in your end. Once you think you're weaved in enough, I've probably got way too much yarn. I always have a super long tail, but you know what? It's way better to have a super long tail than not enough. So I just tie my knot, cut off some, leaving a little bit, and I jam that down into the doll, into the stuffing. So sew on your other arm, and I'll meet you right back here. So now that our arms are sewn on, we're going to do the wig cap. So whatever color your hair is going to be, I almost grabbed that, but I don't want that. Whatever color your hair is going to be, that's the color you need to grab. So my wig cap, so this is going to be hard to see, but it's the metallic yarn again. It's shimmery. So let me show you how to do hair. If you want to do it this way. So these are wooden dowels, about a 1/2 inch wide. That's about an inch or so. I do different sizes because the smaller dowels, they make curlier hair. The larger dowels make more of a wavy hair. And then really, really small dowels, these are even smaller, they make tighter curls. So I use different sizes. But that's what I choose to do for my hair for this particular doll. So you wrap them around these dowels. You soak them in water till they're all nice and completely wet. Then you take a cookie sheet with a rack on it, because you don't want these sitting on the cookie sheet, they'll burn. So with a rack on a cookie sheet, you're going to put your wet dowels and yarn. You're going to put them in the oven at 250 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. And then while those are cooking, we're going to make this wig cap. So go ahead and get your dowels, and if you're doing it, you can just take your yarn and do the exact same thing for hair. So you don't have to do it like this. But either way, you're going to need a wig cap. So I decided against the wig cap because this stuff is not very good for making wig caps. So I'm just going to go commando as far as the wig caps go. But anyway, the pattern was on the screen if you choose to make a wig cap. Like I said, I'm just going commando. So if you don't want to cook your hair or wrap it in dowels or do whatever, I'm going to use both because this doesn't really matter with this stuff. It's nice and soft and metallic and I like it. So take a book. I mean, this is the size of my hand compared to the book I'm using. Whatever size book you want. Wrap your hair, your yarn, around it a cajillion times. And then take some scissors and just cut it right down the middle. And that's your hair. So this is just going to be pinned straight, obviously. Just whatever the yarn is. But just pin straight. So I'm going to set my pin straight hair aside. And we'll open one of these dowels. So I'm just going to put all of them in as far as... What was a knot? So cut your knots off if you don't unwrap it properly like I just did. So you're just going to pull these off your dowels. Don't worry about losing the curls, especially for the smaller, I mean for any of them. These are cooked. The curls will never come out of this. So don't worry about how much you pull or how much you straighten it. You're not going to get, the curl's not going to come out. I find with white, another reason I chose not to continue to cook is because I found with white that it turns kind of slightly yellow. Now my Aunt Susan warned me about that a long time ago and I didn't listen to her. I don't know why I didn't listen to her, probably just forgot. But yeah, it turns yellow. So once you got your dowel unraveled, you're going to do the exact same thing you just did with your yarn. You're going to wrap it a million times. I'm going to speed this up, obviously. The dowels hold a lot of hair. So when you come to the end, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to cut it. Now, if these are smaller dowels you're using and you've got curl, you're not going to lose your curl. So I've cut it and I still got that wave look. So I'm going to set that in a different pile because I'm going to have 3 piles because these are smaller, so they're going to be curlier. So the smaller you go, the tighter the curl. So now that's going to be because they're not super small. You can buy a kit at Michael's that's got all different sizes of dowels for like 20 bucks, 25 bucks or whatever it was. You don't have to worry about losing your curl, like I said. Just, I mean, wrap this tightly. Well, not tightly, but I mean taut around your book. You don't want it to be loose. And like I said, don't worry about straightening it. You're not gonna lose your curl. And it's still curly. So go ahead and get your hair ready, and then I'll show you how I attach it. Hi, so we've got some hair done. So I'm going to show you how I attach the hair, but I'm not going to do it all with you because it is going to be craptastic to do it on camera. If you're not using a wig cap, then you might want to mark a line. This is just a chalk pencil, so it's going to rub off. But you may want to just mark a line where you're going to put your hair. You're not going to be able to see this because it's the same color as my yarn. But that's the point of a chalk line. Just so you have an idea of where you're putting your hair. So I use a latch hook. That's what these are called. It's got a little latch. You can just use a crochet hook. I just find these to be simpler. So I just put it around my latch hook. I insert it into the doll around a post. Wig cap or no wig cap, that's how I do it. I take both pieces and I wrap it around. So the latch is open. Here's the latch right there. So when I pull, the latch is now going to close, and it's going to pull that through and make a knot. So that's how I'm attaching my hair. The hair is very time consuming. So then I go right into my next post and I do the same thing. So you can do however you want with your hair. And I will meet you back here. I got the hair all done. I even put it up in a little elastic up there because I'm not using a wig cap, so you can actually see through. Because it's white, you can actually see the scalp. So I just put a little elastic in there and gave her a little hair design. So there's my mermaid. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.